Hello, all, and welcome to Fireside Chats. And tonight, we're going to have a fireside chat about a few things. Going to talk about. I went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood the other day. Yesterday. Excuse me, I just got back from the gym. I've got phlegm. And I was shocked. I was stunned. I saw a trailer for a movie, and I thought to myself, "This looks like Rian Johnson humor." And then my next thought was, "But that's impossible because Rian Johnson should never be able to work in Hollywood ever again after what he did to The Last Jedi." And then, to my surprise, the movie came up, and Rian Johnson has a new movie, written and directed. It's called Knives Out. So, this movie, which is due out in November, has an amazing cast. Has Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis, to name a few. And I'm blown away. How on earth did this guy get another job? Is what I want to know. So let's take a look here at Knives Out, shall we? And I don't think you guys are going to be able to get the sound for some reason, but I'll narrate what's happening. That sound fair? Okay. Knives Out. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Go. So that guy looks like Dave Chappelle to me, but I don't think it is. Christopher Plummer's in this too. So, I mean, how on earth did Rian Johnson? I don't get it. So this part of the trailer is okay. So everybody has a southern accent in case you can't hear it. See, right there was a groan-worthy Rian Johnson-esque humor. Like, General Hugs-esque jokes, if you will. So in the background, just playing some old-timey, like, sounds like the B-52s, kind of. So Daniel Craig is doing a southern accent, in case none of you could tell. So there's another groan-worthy. Rian Johnson's humor just does not play. Does not play. So Daniel. Chris Evans' character says, what are you, like FBI, KFC, or something grown worthy like that. It's so stupid. So stupid. And, bunch of bullshit. So that was supposed to switch back. I wonder why it didn't. Oh, okay, because I pressed the wrong button, that's why. So Rian Johnson getting a new movie. What do we all think about that, huh? I, for one, am not a fan. And it's interesting because when I was, before I went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I actually popped on the special features for The Last Jedi. And I'm a nerd like that. I actually sometimes will enjoy the special features more than I will the actual feature. And certainly was true of The Last Jedi, but that was a pretty low bar to set. So, yeah, what ended up happening was, you know, these people... Mark Hamill famously was going up to Rian Johnson and saying, I don't think you understand my character, and I don't feel that this is the way my character should be behaving right now. I can't believe you see Luke this way. Why, you know, it's your vision, but I'll try to execute your vision, but But you know, it was clear that there was some reservations there, and that people weren't happy with that, and it didn't feel like Star Wars is the main thing. And then when they were doing the casino scene, the Canto Bight scene, you can repeatedly hear people saying, "Well, this doesn't feel like Star Wars. You've got formal wear. This does not feel like Star Wars, but you know, I'll do what you want me to do, Ryan. It's your vision." And so the cast and the crew were trying really hard to bring his vision to life, and really, you know, it just seems like Rian Johnson, you know, it has him, and it shows him signing the budget sheet and all this stuff, and it's pretty clear that Rian Johnson did not want to make a Star Wars movie. And so we seem to be getting a lot of that lately, where someone is hired to do a certain type of movie, and they end up making a different kind of movie. So I think if you don't want to make a Star Wars movie, or you don't want to make a Star Trek show, don't make a Star Wars movie, and don't make a Star Trek show. Make something else. And I really think in the case of The Last Jedi, I think that Rian Johnson wanted to make a completely different movie. Some of the early press reports with Rian Johnson were that he had many more characters than we ultimately got. Many more characters, and Kathleen Kennedy, I mean, obviously seemed to think there was some problem, and told Rian Johnson to cut the characters. And so a lot of characters, I guess there's another Poe-like character, and they gave Poe the lines of this other character that was cut from the script, and it's just like, whoa, dude! Why are you making a Star Wars movie when you don't want to make a Star Wars movie? So it's pretty clear that Rian Johnson wanted to make a completely different movie. You know, Oliver Twist in space is what Rian Johnson wanted to do, which you know, is unfortunate. But looking at that trailer for Knives Out, so I feel like, just looking at the trailer, I'm having some of the same issues that I had with The Last Jedi, and that's that you have some beautiful vistas. Cinematography is pretty good, but the jokes and the humor and the writing seems to be the issue here. And just looking at what Rian Johnson did with The Last Jedi and plotting and keeping a plot together, I don't see how he's going to do a murder mystery. I mean, come on, man. I mean, get it together, dude. So I don't plan on watching Knives Out. I did see Looper in the theater, and I thought Looper, I mean, again, you know, I thought it was okay. but I didn't, I didn't love it the way some people did. Now, on the other hand, Colin Trevorrow with Safety Not Guaranteed. I loved Safety Not Guaranteed, and I was really looking forward to Colin Trevorrow's vision of Star Wars more so than Rian Johnson's, because I felt like Colin Trevorrow would have really had a good grasp on the source material and the type of movie he was supposed to be making. So I was much more excited for Colin Trevorrow, and I was really bummed, and it sounds like Mark Hamill liked where Trevorrow was going with it too. So it's really unfortunate that he's not involved in the project anymore. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if other people have covered it or not. I think that they knew that The Last Jedi was a shitty movie. I think they knew ahead of time. I think that is the reason why Kathleen Kennedy started panic firing Lord and Miller and Colin Trevorrow. I think that's why she jumped into all that, is because The Last Jedi was so bad. So, and there's more evidence to support that too. There was a lot of news about theater owners being extremely upset because basically Lucasfilm, Disney, was going to get the majority of the profits from the ticket sales. Basically, these movie theaters were only going to be making money off of the popcorn sales. They were not going to be making any money off of the tickets. And so, and they negotiated a lot harder with The Last Jedi to do that than they had on some of their other films. So I think it's pretty obvious that they knew that they had a stinker, and that they kind of covered it up. But, we'll see what happens. I have zero interest in seeing The Rise of Skywalker. What can you possibly do after The Last Jedi? It's been so fucked beyond recognition. I just don't think there's any way to I don't think there's any way to salvage it. There's no way to salvage it. You don't even have any bones to put the meat on at this point. It's done. It's been cremated. Rian Johnson cremated Star Wars. That's what happened. I mean, you're trying to put something back together when you've got ashes, and it's just not going to work. Not going to work. So, let's move on to the next topic here, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And let's watch the... So, for anybody that isn't aware, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that's a Quentin Tarantino movie, his 10th film. And I watched it, and I really enjoyed it. So it's supposed to be somewhat loosely based on Burt Reynolds' times in Hollywood and a stuntman that he had a bit of a bromance with, for being completely honest. The movie even says more than a brother but less than a wife. So yeah, the movie, it's a very long movie, but it breathes a lot. So basically it's about a Hollywood star played by Leonardo DiCaprio. And, he goes from a young man to being a man going into his 30s and not being a cute little kid anymore, just getting into later adulthood. And how it's, his roles are more difficult to come by. And his stunt double is his buddy and has come along for the ride. And he resists wanting to do spaghetti westerns, but he ultimately does spaghetti westerns and finds a wife and realizes that that's the end of his career. And so that's the end of basically the bromance with Brad Pitt's character. But it was really good. So some of my favorite things about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are he paints such... I feel like I've walked into that time. Quentin Tarantino did such an amazing job making that a period piece. And it's a lot of what if, and if history had taken this turn, it's playing with the whole idea of juxtaposing movie with reality, and movie violence with real violence. And yeah, for example, there's a Roman Polanski Sharon Tate storyline, and Tate, played by Margot Robbie, is watching her own movie. And when I saw that, I kind of thought about what if that Quentin Tarantino must, maybe he does, but he must go in and watch his films. So with an audience, and wouldn't you want to do that? I've done some writing in the past, and whenever I've written stories, I'll have in the stories dialogue, and I'll have what I think is a funny joke or what I think should get a laugh. And if I give it to different people and I hear a laugh about how long I think it takes them to get to the part where they laugh, it's important to me to know that that's there. So I think the same must be true of a director or an actor, whether or not the material is landing the way the material is supposed to be landing. Rian Johnson could really learn a lesson there. He was a pretty arrogant guy, but we're going to get off Rian Johnson because he sucks. He's horrible. I mean, what can you say? I have no idea. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about Rian Johnson anymore. So, I mean, I just felt like not a lot happened in the movie, except that it transported you to this very interesting time, and it did so with, I couldn't see an LED light anywhere. They were all old incandescent lights. The old walk signs, they were replacing those when I was a kid. But so now you have the universal symbols left, and you'll have little dude walking, or you'll have the hand that goes up. Well, way back when it said walk and don't walk, and don't walk would be in red, and walk would be in white or green. Little details like that. Quentin Tarantino really nailed it. And I actually was down in Southern California and got to see Hollywood for my birthday when I was on vacation down there. And it's pretty cool seeing it. This is the only movie that I was like, wow, this is really, it's a movie in Hollywood, about Hollywood. And I kind of like those, Sunset Boulevard was one of those. And I felt like I was there. He did it through just the music, the advertisements on both, the television and the radio. When they're going from one place to another place. And that's the way we used to live before we had the internet and before we could stream and do all this stuff. You would be bombarded with advertisements. And on the radio, on the television, the way things were sponsored, it was just a totally different world. And everybody smoked. And it was just, I felt like I was there. And so it was fun. I was never bored. Even though the pace might have been a little bit slow, I was never bored. It was just a fascinating kind of what if type of deal. So, I think I'm the only one watching my own live stream. That's interesting. So, Star Trek, topic 3 here. Star Trek has moved to do their convention down in Las Vegas, and a lot of my fellow nerds and geeks are in Las Vegas right now. I would have loved to have gone to that thing. That's one of the things I want to do is eventually go to that, the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas. But Sadly, I've got work up here I've got to do. So, what is the state of Star Trek right now? I think Star Trek. I'm not going to watch it until I get another free trial, or the entire season has been done. I'll just watch Nerdrotic Gary's take on it, and I won't even watch the episode. I'm more interested in watching The Expanse, quite honestly, and the Orville. But yeah, I think I think season 3 is going to be a disaster. I did a video, and it looked like the Discovery might intersect with Star Trek Picard, and I hope not, but it looks like it will. And they even said so in the interview at Comic-Con, that the short treks will cross over the two. So that I'm not optimistic about how Star Trek's going to go. One can hope. But right now I'm pretty disgusted with both Star Trek and Star Wars. Star Wars was never totally my thing. I was always more of a Trekker. I always liked a little bit more of a cerebral story and the adventures they went on. And I don't know. Oh, I do have a theory I was going to do a video on, and that is Star Trek Picard is a holodeck simulation that takes place in the episode Pegasus from The Next Generation, and the way it took place in These Are the Voyages in Star Trek Enterprise. I think, yep, he did a simulation of the future, Riker did. And that's why we see the Captain Picard Day sign. But yeah, I mean, the more I think about that Picard trailer, the more I think that I'm not gonna like the new crew. I mean, you got Vulcan patty cakes there, whatever. And you have Newt from Aliens, but it's not Newt from Aliens. It's like whoever that lady is, the real protagonist. But yeah, I just wanted to hop online and see if anybody was out there. I'm starting to do more of these videos, and I'm doing a lot of stuff differently with my business, my other business outside of YouTube, and I feel like I'm on the verge of some kind of a breakthrough, because I'm getting to that point where I'm starting to get frustrated, and I'm getting that temptation to quit. And I know that that's when you have to push through, and that's when the results show up. It's just gonna, making videos or doing business. It's all just like working out. If you haven't worked out and you start a new workout routine, you're just gonna have to accept the fact that for a while, you're going to have to show up to the gym fat. And same is true for business. If you don't go prospecting for more business, and then you start prospecting, for a while, you're going to be broke. And the same thing is true for streaming videos. If you haven't streamed videos and you haven't made videos, and then you make videos, just gonna have to accept the reality that your videos are probably going to be sucking for quite a while. And so I think they're sucking less. I've got my business channel, and then I have my personal channel also. So between the 3 channels, Probably made about 125 videos. I think only about 70 of them are visible across all the channels. And the one I did for my business yesterday, people that know me IRL, in real life, told me that that was the first video that they saw the guy that they know in real life in. So I'm assuming that's a good thing. I was like my persona, you know, I want to be consistent. So it'd be weird if you met me out and I was a totally different person. Although if I run past you and I'm really short, or I say gotta go, and I meet somebody that recognizes me from online, probably means that I've gotta go to the bathroom or something. You know, maybe I got a hold of some bad, you know, crab salad or something. You never know. But anyhow, this has been Fireside Chats, and thank you so much for tuning in. See ya.